Do what?
It may take you longer.
It may, and it will take you longer. But with all this put together, the house, the storms that are going through, He's there. He doesn't leave. We asked Him today, everyone in this room sang that song. So you were essentially asking, draw me close. You were asking what that song wanted. If you're really doing that, are you going to open that door and allow Him to come in and allow Him to have full reign of the house? And believe me, sometimes it's painful. Because sometimes when He's cleaning up that mess, He's going to throw out stuff that's cluttering that we don't want to throw out. I know. I used to be really, really bad at it, and I still have trouble at times. But you can ask my wife. I have gotten better. I have thrown away a lot of stuff and broke down and got rid of a lot of stuff. And I don't have to say that I don't have a lot of things. We have a lot of God sale stuff right now. But how many times is our house cluttered? That it isn't as neat as it should. It's cluttered. And I'm talking about, we're looking at our physical house. But what about your spiritual house? What kind of stuff's in there that's cluttering you so that it makes it hard for you to even move around? Not only, it could be nicely put together and neat, but it's still cluttered. It may not be a mess. You may not have stuff laying around it shouldn't be laying around. It may have everything in its place. I know people like that. They get really bent out of shape if their little particular thing's not in their place it's supposed to be at. But so you could do a good job of keeping it clean, but it still be a mess because of the clutter. Are you going to allow Him to come in and help declutter and clean in our lives? He's been dealing with me with some things in my own life. He's been dealing with me big time with some things in my own life that I have got to let Him kick out. But don't we have things that we have in our physical lives as well as in our spiritual lives that we've had for so many years that we don't even know if we can even survive without that thing? Do we not all have that? But that one very thing could be keeping Him from being able to get us to that destination. It could be keeping us, our focus off of Him through our storms. And it could be the one thing that keeps that particular area of your house to be spotless for Him. What's been burning into me is I hear that there are awesome things going on around Brownsville, the Spirit moving. We see how it's moving in Brazil. We hear things that are moving, and then I stop and look at my life. And I go, why is it not? Why is the things around? Yes, we're making headway and we're making things, but why is things not exploding like it looks like in other places? I'm not comparing. I'm asking God to show me and direct me how I can get to that point. Well, if we are truly asking Him to draw us close and that He's all I want, put the words up on that song there for a moment, the chorus, draw me close. If we're really doing this, and that song means, I relate things to songs all the time. It says, draw me close and never let me go. He's not. That's why He preordained a GPS for us. He's not going to let us go. He's going to constantly redirect us. That is what that line right there represents in God. But here it says, I lay it all down again. We lay it all down. But see, it even threw the word again. So how many times do we allow Him to come clean our hearts, clean our house, but we let the same junk back in and we let it get back to the same way it was? We have to ask Him, I lay it all down again. He's willing to sit there and help us clean it up. It may not be as easy as the first time, but He's going to come. He's there with us. He's with us. But if you're really saying, draw me close, never let me go, He's not going to. We have to believe that. We have to know our identity in Him to know that He's not going to leave us. Amen. And even though we make mistakes and go the wrong directions and cause storms in our lives, that He's there beside us, and we have to look at the center point of Him, focus on Him. And when we do, we're laying it down again to Him and allowing Him to fix it. Now the key is not to do it again. But we're human, and we have a tendency to lose focus. And when we lose focus, the next thing you know, we're right where we don't want to be. What happens on the road or other places? I will be honest. Yesterday, I had a rough day. First thing in the morning, going to work, pouring down rain. I forgot somebody that's normally not in the driveway was in the driveway, and I back into them, and I busted my tail light. It's not funny.
It's funny.
And it bit the bumper, but the bumper can be popped back out. There's nothing behind it causing it. It's just rubber. I got to get a new tail light though. But see, I wasn't fully focused. I was used to what it normally is like, and it caused me to forget that there was something different.
Amen.
And I caused damage to my Jeep that God gave me and that I dedicated to Him. So the first thing I said was, Lord, I am sorry I hurt your vehicle.
Amen.
That was the first thing that came out of my mind, because to me, that's His, not mine. Why do you think that I've been willing to drive it to the airports? I've been and doing all the things that I'm doing. We've had it since March 15th when we signed papers. We've put over 5,000 miles on that car since. Part of it's because we went to Florida, but that was only 1,800 miles. All this other that I'm willing to do for God.
Amen.
I'm not putting myself on a pedestal, but my point is, I wasn't totally aware of my surroundings. I was so used to the norm that it caused that. See, on the new GPSs, the way they are now, they even let you know if there's an accident in front of you. And they'll let you know, even if the accident's there, if that's still the quickest route to go or not. So it may still want you to go by the accident. If not, and there's a faster way, it'll ask you, would you like to accept? It does that now. Well, in God's spiritual GPS, He's going to do the same thing. If we're heading in a direction and all of a sudden something has appeared that He doesn't want us to go through, He's going to offer us a way to go around. Are we going to be stubborn and keep going straight? I did that. And I'm going, oh, great. I should have took that turn that it's trying to get me to take, because now I'm stuck in this traffic. We were headed to Fort Worth, and there was an accident. We were late getting to Fort Worth because of the accident. But He told me a faster way to get around, and I stubborn. And I stayed. That's in the physical, but how are we doing that in our spiritual lives? A physical doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that He gave me a car. It doesn't matter anything He done. The supplying the way to Brazil, everything. None of that matters. None of it matters if I don't get my spiritual life where it needs to be, and I don't allow Him to work on my spiritual life. It won't matter, and I won't get anything in Brazil if I don't go with the direction and knowing that this is where He's wanting me to go to receive something that He wants. If I go because I'm in the wrong attitude, I'll get nothing. He asks us, the people that are going, to fast something. The reason He didn't ask. I came to Him and I said, I feel this really heavy on my heart that I need to do this. And I'm letting you know that I need to do this. And when I told Him that, He says, well, everyone needs to do this. With that being said, we sacrifice sometimes. Or what price are you willing to pay to get to the destination He's wanting?
Amen.
If we open that door into our house and it's a mess, we're saying we're willing to pay what price it takes for him to clean it up. But are you really willing? Or are you going to let him in and it's starting to hurt, and then so you're going to push him back out? So then he has to stand at the door and knock again. It's very important. Very important. What was the rest of that verse? And to hear you say that I am your friend. He is always our friend, but sometimes we can't hear him because the TV's too loud. We can't hear him because of the books in the bookshelves. We can't hear him because of the animals that we take care of or whatever. The clutter that's there. Sometimes we can't hear him. He's going to always be telling you his friend. Or if he didn't believe and didn't really mean that we're his friend, would he even be standing at the door knocking? He's not a salesman. If Satan's knocking at the door, you better reject him. But when it's Jesus standing at the door, and believe me, you'll know if it's Jesus standing at the door. Are you going to let him in? Are you going to let this? We're going to play this song at the end. Are you going to let this song really, this verse, really come alive in your life? See, it's funny. This song is what confirmed that I knew that I was on the right page. Because not only that, this song I've already heard twice before we came to church today. I had another song that I was going to play, Take Me Into the Holy of Holies. But this song played twice. My phone has lots of songs, but it went to it twice. It passed. Actually, it was 3 times, because then when I got in the car, it was playing one song, and I was hitting the wrong button. I was trying to turn the volume up, and I was hitting the other button, and it changed, and when I went to try to put it back to song, it went to this very song again, and that's why we done. This song relates to everything that I'm talking about. Everything. There's other scriptures that you can go by. But one scripture that's also important to understand, if he's standing there at the door knocking, 3:15, Revelations 3:15, just 5 verses up before he says knock. Revelations 3:20, Revelations 3:15 says that he would rather you be hot or cold, because he'll spit you out lukewarm. How is the inside of your house? How is the inside of your house? If you just have one room, or maybe 2, that you allow him in, you're lukewarm. And he'll spit you out. He's got to have full reign of their house. And it is hard. Because there's things that hurt when he tries to mess with. When he does mess with it, it hurts. But then there's always freedom afterwards, and we feel good afterwards. But it hurts. And as you're growing up, there's growing pains. What do you think it is spiritually? Do you think that everything's going to be hunky-dory and honey and all that on the way going up? No. You're going to have some bumps. You're going to have some hurdles to jump over. You're going to have some lightning strikes. You're going to have some thunder that hurts your ears. There's going to be things that's going to come your way. But do you know that builds the character? James chapter 1 verse 2 says, rejoice in the tribulation, because it brings apart perseverance, and then it brings patience. It builds the character. Your storm, whether you put yourself through it, whether God is using it to teach you something, or whether he's using it to help somebody else because he trusts you enough to know you're going to keep focused on him. It's building character. It's building character. So that when you look in the mirror, you see who you are with him and not your mess. And when you finally get to the point where you see who you are in the mirror, then the world's going to see who you are in him. But the first step is to open that door and allow him in. I don't know what else to say how important it is to allow him in to clean the mess. Every one of us, no matter how righteous and holy that we live, there's some area in our life we need to allow him to clean. We are going to have that until the day we die and we stand before him. So we have to be willing to allow him to have full control. How many of us wants the presence of God to be so tangible in here that it's busting at the seams and people are standing out and we're having to open the windows for people to hear?
Amen.
Last night when I laid down, he gave me a vision of this place. And I just melted with the vision he showed me of this place. Every pew was full. They were wanting to move that piano back there, but there was no way. It was full. We had to take the flags down because we were hanging stuff on the walls that people were delivered from and healed from in this place. Yeah. To the point where we had to open the windows for people to stand outside and look in the windows. He wants to take us to that point, and he will have us a new place to go. But we have to be willing to do what needs to be to get to that point.
Amen.
But that's what he showed me last night when I went to bed. Do you want it? Do you really want it? If you really want it, open the door and allow him in. If you really want it, open the door and allow him in and be willing to pay what price needs to be paid. I'm talking to myself too. I've preached this whole thing directly to me. There's things that got to change. Apostle's not here today. Last week, this place was packed. Where are they at today? It shouldn't matter who's standing here of who's out there.
Amen.
That tells me that people are not opening their doors to his knock. It needs to be our desire. She's fixing to play this song, and I want y'all to come up and give it to God. I know every one of us in here has got something. If you choose to sit there and not open the door, that's fine. I'm not going to pray over you. You're going to come up here and you're going to show him as a prophetic statement that I am going to open the door and allow you to do what needs to be done so that he can work what he wants to work here. How can we reach the people around us if we won't let him do what he needs to do to us to get him there? I don't have any far to go. I want her to play the music, and I want y'all to come up and have a time. I'm turning this off because I'm going to have my time with him too. Y'all come up here, and if you don't, you choose to stay out there, that's between you and him. But if you really want to make a difference in this world, and you really, really, really want to do what this song says, then something's wrong if you're going to sit there. If you can't stand up here, I understand. There's a bench you can come and sit. That's a prophetic statement saying, draw me close. I'm opening the door to let you in. Turn the lights off and play the music.